Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back on the channel. Hey, we got a new Patrick CC visual today. Why comedy movies died. Which is low-key true. How many movies have died? Sad. I don't know. You gotta think about it though. Like 80s, 90s, and early 2000s were like the peak times of cinema. Mm-hmm. Not even just cinema when it comes down to, well, I'd say peak times of entertainment. Mm-hmm. Not just like movies. You had great television shows, great music being put out. You know, like as far as entertainment, even live entertainment, as far as just going places and going to theme parks and all that, like entertainment was at its best. Now it's like it's on a rapid decline because everybody finds this is the most like isolated era of all time, where no one really goes outside or do anything beyond being on their devices for entertainment. Yeah. And everybody, like, it's one thing, like, we grew up, you know what I'm saying? You can do solo entertainment. You can entertain yourself. Yeah. It's like they're not even entertaining themselves. They're just fixated with being alone. You get what I'm saying? And I might be wording it wrong, but I know what I'm trying to get out. It's like the loner days. Everybody just want to be like, and I don't necessarily think everybody wants to be alone. It's just everybody's just loner vibes. You get what I mean? It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. Because even like socializing nowadays, it's like people
don't know how to socialize with other people
beyond on a device, like in-person interactions. Yeah, and that's the reason why like customer service be so trash nowadays. Is because so many people are now going into those fields. Yeah. Like fresh out of this, and they don't know how to socialize. True. They don't know how to interact with people. But you think comedy movies died?
I've died. Yeah, I mean I can't really think of any like. I'm trying to think of like new joints. Yeah. And
also, I'll say that the reason why I possibly also...
That's actually good. But yeah.
Also, the reason why I possibly have died, we haven't had that new like wave of comedians. Mm-hmm. Besides social media, like the art of comedy is beyond doing these little short skits that's so repetitive. Yeah. Like you'll see one person do the skit, there's this person want to do the same skit and over again. Nobody's doing organic, originally like funny things or doing... You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hey, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
liking it with a thumbs up.
Do you think the art of comedy has died? That's a good-ass question right there.
That's a good question.
But let's go, man. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about, man. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Even comedy TV series, bro. Like, you know how we had Steve Harvey show, Burning Man show, D.L. Hughley, George Lopez, Martin. Yeah. Yeah, Wayans brothers. Yeah, all these comedy sitcoms where you could literally just sit down and get a laugh. True. It ain't like that no more.
Comedy movies have been dead for the past decade, which is especially depressing because Hollywood stopped making funny movies when we needed them the most. The past 10 years have been some of the most chaotic and divided times in modern history. Politics.
Sensitive, because a lot of things people will make fun of. Everybody complains about it nowadays. Yeah. And that's another reason why.
The past 10 years have been some of the most chaotic and divided times in modern history. Politics taking over literally everything, cost of living skyrocketing, and people spending hours online doom scrolling an infinite feed of bad news. If there was ever a time we needed to collectively sit in a theater and just laugh at something stupid, it's now. But it wasn't always like this. During the 90s and early 2000s, we were getting multiple hilarious comedy films each year. I bet you forgot how stacked shocked the year 2004 was. Anchorman, White Chicks, Dodgeball, Mean Girls, Napoleon Dynamite, all in the same year. If we got one movie as funny as any of these in the past 5 years, we would be grateful. But this isn't even just an opinion. The data doesn't lie. 2016 was the official point of no return for comedy films. In that year, comedies made up about 12% of the domestic box office and pulled in $1.1 billion. Just 1 year later, their share was nearly cut in half to 7%, with gross revenue dropping to $790 million, making it the single biggest one-year collapse on record. After that, it was all downhill. 2022 was particularly abysmal, with the entire genre of comedy grossing $259 million. That is an entire year of movies that grossed less than just what The Hangover did in 2009. So what happened to comedy films after 2016? Well, there are a few things we have to consider, but it all boils down to one major reason. And today we are going to discuss everything, starting with how Hollywood lost the creativity that we used to see in small, medium, and high-budget comedy films.
Ain't that around the same time cancel culture kind of really popped off? And everybody wanted to cancel anybody for saying anything? It was around 2016. And a little bit before then, this one. And so now everybody kind of walking like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Like, I can't talk about this. I can't talk about this. Even when it's possible to like even talk about politics. I can't talk about politics because I'm going to piss off the wrong group of people. So how can we go about it, you know? Either way you want to go, you can't say anything without somebody stupid wanting to comment on something. And most of the people who always want to comment on something are some of the most uneducated people out here. And I'm just like, damn, bro. Go clock into your job and shut the fuck up. Let the entertainers entertain, bro.
The beauty of comedy is that it's boundaryless. Unlike drama, kind of action, or even horror, it doesn't really need to play by any established rules. A comedy can start with literally anything. A talking animal, a man stuck in a time loop, a dodgeball tournament, a pair of clueless detectives, and turn it into a creative masterpiece. The premise doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't even have to make any sense. As long as it's funny, it works. Take Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, for example. What a unique concept. A private investigator who specializes in finding lost animals.
I watched this not too long ago, bro. Like, you will never have another comedian like Jim Carrey, bro. Never.
And solves crimes through pure chaos and speaks almost entirely in one-liners. At one point, he's literally crawling out of a rhino's ass. Then again, Jim Carrey was kind of a cheat code for 90s comedies.
Facts.
Films like The Mask and Liar Liar showcased his ability to immerse us into the most ridiculous plots imaginable. Carrey had this cartoon-like elasticity. He could bend and contort his face and body, which made even the dumbest scenes or dialogue unforgettable. Or what about Dumb and Dumber, which is literally just a movie about two dumbasses.
You go straight ahead and you make the left over the bridge.
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria? Well then, good day, mate.
I'm done.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
I always found myself gravitating towards films that had insanely unrealistic plots. The kind of movies where the world they're in doesn't follow society's rules or any rules at all. When there's no logic to be broken and the possibilities are endless. Like, literally anything can happen. The Hangover took this concept to the absolute maximum. At its core, it's just a bachelor party gone wrong. Something that in real life might just end with a bad hangover and some embarrassing photos. But in this world, it spirals into a mystery involving a missing groom, a stolen police car, a baby in the closet, Mike Tyson's tiger, and a mob boss named Mr. Chow. It's an escalating chain of ridiculous events where every new reveal is crazier than the last, and because the movie establishes early on that anything can happen, you never question it. In Anchorman, the 1970s news industry is less about journalism and more about ego wars that escalate into literal deadly combat between rival news teams. Compete with tridents, horses, and someone catching on fire, and then casually.
Did you ever watch that?
Uh-huh.
I never watched it because I ain't gonna hold you like certain things. You like cheesy stuff. I don't.
I like everything.
Like things I think is cheesy. C actually loves. Like I think Anchorman is very cheesy. I never was drawn to it because I thought it was too cheesy. Like even he said Napoleon Dynamite. I was like,
You never watched Napoleon Dynamite?
I watched it, but I ain't never take to it because I thought it was cheesy. But that's the thing, though. I can dislike you. You can say you like it, and I can respect you. So like, okay, that's
And
you
I
like.
respect you.
Yeah, respect you. Like, it's
But
something
no, I
you
watch
like.
everything. Like, I at least give it a try.
But the thing is, nowadays,
Well, not
you
anything
can't
a
really
try,
do
but-
that now.
Yeah.
People like, why haven't you seen it? You ain't cool if you ain't, bro.
Everyone
Everybody's
doesn't like, everyone doesn't have the same interest in things, and it's,
and society
makes
has
you.
yeah, society has made it seem like you have to watch everything everybody else watch nowadays, and I hate that shit, bro.
Returning to work like nothing happened. Anchorman is the perfect example of a comedy movie that dedicates almost all of its dialogue to do one very important thing: make you laugh.
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
The amount of quotable lines in this movie is unprecedented. It was even unique back then, but now, maybe you'd be lucky to get one or two quotables in a comedy movie. Dodgeball is about a Las Vegas dodgeball tournament for fully grown adults with a prize big enough to save a failing gym.
I didn't watch that either.
If you can dodge a wrench,
I've seen it,
you can dodge a ball.
What?
They get their asses handed to them by a bunch of Girl Scouts, experiment with some interesting uniform styles, and Ben Stiller is in this film doing what he does best, playing the role of the villain. And what about Ted, which asks you to accept, without hesitation, that a man's childhood teddy bear came to life, grew up with him, drinks, does drugs, and...
You said what?
I said, did you watch?
I watched Ted. I prefer Ted 1 over Ted 2, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched both, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen both.
Gets into full-blown relationships. And these are just some of the ultra
they're hitting that
mainstream
thing.
movies. Don't even get me started on Pootie Tang and
Oh,
Don't Be a
Pootie
Menace
Tang.
to South Central while
Yeah.
drinking your juice in the hood. These are movies that are so absurd that you have to make
Bro,
sure you...
Pootie Tang's Water Tang.
I'm done.
Bro,
I'm done,
I always,
bro.
and I ain't gonna hold you. I always thought Pootie Tang was the corniest shit ever, bro.
But it wasn't meant to be like,
No, I know it's meant to be, but I was like, man, this some corny ass shit.
I used to like that.
You said why? What?
You
said I sound like a what though?
I said I liked it.
Oh, and then like I'll say this. I'm gonna tell you one I feel like is hella corny, and I actually liked it growing up.
Okay, what?
Undercover Brothers. I always thought that movie was the corniest shit, but I was like, bro, it's cool, bro.
So you do like a little,
But I'm telling you, like, I like. Do you think it's corny, Undercover Brother? You can't even think of it.
I can't think of it.
That's
off the top of my
crazy.
head.
You don't know about. You can't think of Undercover Brother right
First
after.
of all, chill, because I didn't get
Undercover.
on to you.
I know all these movies.
I didn't say you didn't know them.
I'm saying you can't think of it.
Undercut. Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, it was.
I'm saying
but
not the
I
fact
liked it,
that.
though.
I'm saying if you just say Undercover Brother, you couldn't think of it.
No, I could, but I was trying to make sure that that's what you was talking about. Man, anyway, dude. But yes,
I'm gonna fix you a mayonnaise sandwich. All you gotta do is squirt a little hot sauce on it.
Anyway,
that's from the
yes.
movie. That's what he said. Hit the little hot sauce in the watch. Just squirt a little hot sauce.
But yes, I thought it was cheesy, but I did like it though.
Yeah, it's a lot of like cheesy little comedy movies, but you know what I'm saying? It was like wholesome entertainment, wholesome but not
I
wholesome.
think that's what makes stuff like, I don't know, it was just different. Felt good. It felt.
Oh, it's like feel good, like
it felt good.
Like warm, like heartwarming type.
You watch them with people who have the same humor as you, otherwise they'll look at you like you're crazy.
True.
There are very few comedies today that keep the spirit of this insane absurdity. However, Cocaine Bear is one that does come to mind, which is about an American black bear that eats a stash of cocaine that fell out of a plane smuggling drugs. The bear becomes highly aggressive, attacking and trying to kill hikers in its way. While the movie is just alright, I do respect the dumbness of this idea. It's not trying to be relatable, it's just leaning fully into a ridiculous premise and committing to the bit, and that's.
I swear I remember I putting it on, but I don't think like also
watching you.
Nah, I don't think I like 100% consumed it though. I have to go back and rewatch it, but no. I'll say this: I remember me watching. I don't remember you watching.
I remember us watching.
Also, I remember turning it on, but not like watching it through and through. I think I had turned it off and started watching something else. But also, it's based off a true story.
Yeah.
So it's good to see a comedy be turned in. I mean, a true story be turned into a comedy like that. But
Something we don't nearly get enough of anymore. Most modern comedy movies take the safe route. We get movies like Vacation Friends 2, a generic sequel with the same recycled concept of a holiday gone wrong and being stuck surrounded by people with clashing personalities. Or The Man from Toronto, another Kevin Hart buddy comedy that is so formulaic it feels like it was designed for people to turn on and then fall asleep while the ads run. Comedies rarely go for
stupid, but also like. A lot of times nowadays with a lot of films and stuff, they overforce the same actors in the films.
Yeah.
Instead of like back then, you had this next like it was constantly a new wave of comedy actors,
new faces,
new
acts and stuff like that. Because sometimes I feel like
it felt new even seeing the same actor in something else.
Because sometimes I don't want you to force a person like down my throat and like. I don't want to get tired of a person seeing, like, a certain person.
Like, no disrespect to Kevin Hart. I do feel like they force Kevin on us a lot. And I'm like, all right, damn, another Kevin Hart movie. And they all kind of feel very repetitive. And I'm like, unlike like Jim Carrey, every joint he did was very comical, but was always different. From Ace Ventura to The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. They were all felt different. Even though they were like him, but he made the characters feel like different characters. And so it's like not watching Jim just keep playing another, But like with Kevin, it's like, all right, another Kevin movie, another Kevin movie, another Kevin movie. It's like, okay. I don't know. And I keep looking for the next generation wave, but we don't have it. And then when they do get someone, it's like they force, and the acting is not like genuine. It's like forced acting. The acting comes out very like
forced on.
Like you need to go back to the drawing board.
For people to turn on and then fall asleep while the ads run. Comedies rarely go for absurd humor these days because, well, it's really difficult. Too open of a canvas can make it harder to build a story with structure. The freedom to do anything also means there's nothing stopping you from literally losing the plot, which is kind of what happened in Cocaine Bear. However, other great comedy films in the past started with a lightly realistic framework, which only enhanced the absolute farce that took place during the film, like Super Troopers. A movie about morally questionable cops? Sure, that sounds realistic, until you realize these highway patrol officers spend more time pranking civilians and messing with each other than actually enforcing the law. They behave in a way that doesn't even come close to representing reality, and none of them would still have jobs after these antics. But at the same time, it does make you think some cops might actually act like that in private. Or the 40-year-old virgin. Sure, it's very possible that a man could abstain or just not have the opportunity to have sex for half their life. And if you found that out, you might think, wow, that's interesting, and then move on. But the movie takes that basic believable premise and pushes it into pure absurdity. It then turns into all of Steve Carell's co-workers dedicating their entire lives to getting him laid. And of course, stepbrothers. I have a stepbrother, tons of people have step-siblings. It's an extremely relatable experience, navigating new family dynamics and sharing space with someone you didn't grow up with. But in the film, nothing about that is relatable. We have two 40-year-old men with no jobs that spend their days building bunk beds, hanging out in a treehouse, and fighting like toddlers.
I didn't touch a drum set, okay?
I witnessed with my eyes your testicles touching my drum set.
All right, that's it!
A modern version of this absurd but also still upholding a slight realistic framework is the teen comedy movie Bottoms, which is basically just another silly high school movie, but through the lens of two queer students. The high school jocks in the film wear their full padded football.
Oh, you seen this?
I haven't seen it through and through. I started watching it.
Oh, for real? She be watching some stuff. I don't be knowing what she watching. She be glued to her all her streaming sites. It ain't just man one. She be on Netflix. She'll bounce from Netflix to Hulu, bounce from Hulu to Tubi. Then she'll be back on Netflix. Then go to Prime. I'm like, dang. See what?
The only one I don't be on like that is
Paramount. Paramount, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to check. I'm about to see what they got.
Paramount be having stuff, but then again, don't be having stuff.
And I be on Max sometimes.
Oh, you do?
No, I
well,
don't.
we really just got
no,
Max.
I don't. I don't
like
be on
that.
there like that.
We really just got Max.
I be on Prime. Did you say Prime? Prime Video?
Prime, yeah.
uniforms 24/7 in class, at parties, while sleeping. It's obviously unrealistic, but it's a funny way of critiquing jocks that dedicate their entire personality to the sport they play. Oh, and a nice touch was throwing one of them in a cage in the classroom for absolutely no reason.
Try telling Dimitri Walker that. Little mother came the first week and I ain't seen him since.
Dimitri Walker committed suicide the first week of school, Mr. G.
Sure he did.
The reason why most comedy films today feel like they are missing that ultra creative touch, at least according to legendary director and producer Judd Apatow, is because comedy writers these days are just less funny. He said, when you make the list of the best movies of all time, you're always going to put Airplane on it. And if movies like that aren't being made right now, it's because people aren't smart enough and funny enough to make them. Okay.
He said, when you make the list of the best movies of all time, you're always going to put Airplane. What's Airplane? Oh, but you just got to look at the actor, too, though. You know what I'm saying? He's goated, bro. Like, all his movies is like, just goated. Oh, he passed? I think I know that, though. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But he's so legendary, bro. Like,
And if movies like that aren't being made right now, it's because... well, dang.
Aren't being made right now, it's because people aren't smart enough and funny enough to make them. Okay, so who would be smart enough or funny enough to write a modern masterpiece? Well, I've noticed that comedy films today seem to be missing actual comedians. And that's because some of the funniest and most popular comedians today are opting for something much easier and more profitable: podcasts. Before podcasts
but are those quote unquote comedians that are podcasting are true comedians, though? Or are they just funny in that space? It's easy to be a comedian in a simple comfort. That's a comfort space, right? But it's hard to be funny constantly in multiple spaces that you 100% can't control.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out how to control those spaces.
And I also feel like it's different sometimes when, you're giving like little one punch lines here and there, opposed to having to continuously keep someone's attention or continuously be funny or whatever, and not like I don't know, like I'm trying to just think of someone like
Bernie Mac.
No, I'm talking about now.
I was just like Bernie Mac. One of the best comedians of all the time.
Yeah, of course, most definitely, goated. But I'm talking about now, someone that I can just see in their realm and just like.
Because even the comedians that they try to push nowadays don't have that substance. Like, you can keep my attention, and it's also because of the day and age we live in, where people are so used to only entertaining for a TikTok clip, and I think the downfall of that was Vine. Because people start figuring out, okay, I could just make you laugh for however long this Vine clip is, and then we move on with our lives.
Yeah.
But you can't make me laugh for 20, 30 minutes straight. You can't tell a continuous story for 20, 30 minutes straight. I do think we should bring back shows like Def Comedy Jam. Give these people, you call yourself a comedian? Because everybody nowadays who do social media want to call themselves I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Put them on the stage for real. Let them really go tell their jokes.
Yeah.
Half of them y'all would consider comedians. No, they're not.
Yeah, true.
They're not. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of people. I'm like, outside of that space, are they really funny?
True.
And I really think about it in that full essence of comedy, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I remember watching Def Comedy Jam. I remember watching Apollo and people bombing on Apollo and stuff like that. Like, comedy ain't the same no more.
are opting for something much easier and more profitable: podcasts. Before podcasts became wildly popular, comedians had essentially 3 routes to earn a career: get a job on Saturday Night Live, secure a TV sitcom, or get a role in a comedy film. The mainstream visibility earned through these avenues allowed comedians to fill seats in comedy clubs across the country. The vast majority of the comedians responsible for your favorite comedy films were originally platformed by SNL: Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray, Will Ferrell, Mike Myers, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Kristen Wiig. I could keep going on and on. It was much easier for a current or ex-SNL cast member to pitch a movie to a major studio because they have already proven to the industry that they are funny. So when these comedians began to see success in films in the 2000s, they assisted in casting other comedy actors with a ton of potential. Actors like Jonah Hill, Zach Galifianakis, Paul Rudd, Vince Vaughn, Melissa McCarthy, Steve Carell were able to skip over SNL and go straight to the big screen. And it sounds painfully obvious to say, but I think a large reason why older films were funnier was because the funniest people at the time were either writing or acting in these comedy films. Today, a comedian doesn't need SNL or a comedy film to determine their potential for a comedy career. All they need is a podcast. If you can be funny for an hour a week behind a microphone, clip the best moments for TikTok or Instagram, and build a loyal audience online, you can skip Hollywood entirely and still sell out theaters on a national tour. I'm sure Theo Von could assist in writing or acting in a really funny movie if he tried, but why would he? With podcast ad revenue, Patreon subscribers, and live show ticket sales selling out all over the country, a lot of comics are making more money than they ever could from starring in a studio comedy without months of shooting, studio interference, or the risk of a box office flop.
Also, is that possibly making comedians lazy though? Lazy of like really perfecting the art of that comedy by being able to just blow up off of.
Oh my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say just by blowing up off of because it's different when they have built this fan base, right, from their podcasts and stuff. Those people come out to their shows, they're gonna automatically, because they're fans of the podcast, they're gonna automatically laugh. But are your jokes really funny? Because back in the day, we have these iconic clips and these iconic stand-up comedies. Nowadays, yeah, they selling out tours and selling out tickets, but they're not doing these iconic specials anymore. Where people like, bro, you have to check that special out. You gotta.
I don't think people care no more. I don't think people really care about the art of it anymore.
Of anything.
Acting, yeah, I'm not even.
Music.
That's why I just said it vaguely. Just whatever. I don't think people care anymore. It's like, if I can do this, that, and I don't have to do all this extra stuff, and I can still get to the bag, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. That's how people think.
Because it's lazy work.
Like, I don't know what other way to put it. So that's just kind of what it is. We just live in a different time. People don't feel like.
Though.
I mean, yeah, it does, but. I don't know. Yeah, it does.
Because lately, I find myself going back and watching a lot of stuff I grew up on. Because I'm like, bro, this shit was way better than what we got now.
Yeah.
Shift is a huge win for independent comedians, but a huge loss for comedy films. The performers who would have once been fighting to star in the next Step Brothers or The Hangover are now trying to get a spot on the Joe Rogan podcast or be interviewed by Theo Von. They don't need to spend years chasing a studio deal, and they don't have to share their earnings with a production company. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, we can now hear from our favorite funny person every single week, sometimes multiple times a week, without waiting years for them to land a movie role. But the trade-off is that we don't get these larger than
Let me see something real quick.
Without waiting years for them to land a movie role. But the trade-off is that we don't get these larger-than-life, culturally defining moments that comedy films used to create. Nobody is quoting a podcast episode 15 years later the way people still quote Anchorman or Superbad. Well, except this one.
My mother's very pretty.
She's a beautiful woman.
Unlike your cross-eyed mother.
Well, you don't have to.
I'm not Bobby Mother. I'm Bobby Mom.
And another big reason behind the decline of comedy films, as predictable as it is, I know, but we have to talk about cancel culture, because there are some components of this that make it a real factor. I think it goes without saying that most jokes these days receive backlash when they touch on political or social issues, but comedians have incorporated political undertones in their work for decades. Stand-up legends like Richard Pryor and George Carlin have long pushed boundaries and tackled sensitive topics like race, war, religion, gender, and government policies. The biggest difference is that in earlier eras, their controversial material was more likely to be seen as a part of their artistic persona rather than something to be taken literally. The same thing went for comedy movies. People generally understood that jokes were just jokes, with no intention of doing any actual harm. Then again, societal norms just simply change, and a lot of people today feel that making jokes or making light of very sensitive issues or topics is just not okay. We should not be joking about these things. The 1981 comedy movie Porky's involves male characters spying on naked female students. This was then treated as harmless fun, but now recognized as harassment. The 1984 comedy Revenge of the Nerds includes a disturbing scene where a character disguises himself to trick a woman into sex, something that would now be recognized as grape, not humor. The 1994 film Ace Ventura: Pet Detective has been widely criticized in recent years for the way it mocks a trans woman. The 2001 comedy Shallow Hal centers on the idea that an overweight woman is only seen as attractive through hypnosis, promoting harmful stereotypes. 2007's Norbit has been criticized for its offensive portrayal of black women. The character Rasputia is depicted as an aggressive, loud, violent, hypersexual, and domineering woman. And there's even a scene in Step Brothers that makes unapologetic jokes about white supremacy and Nazism. Chances are, if you rewatched any comedy film you loved in the past, you'll find a joke that either aged poorly or maybe you just don't think it's funny anymore.
I don't know. I'm gonna still laugh my ass off. Want me to tell you what I got offended by? I got offended by that Rush Hour got a censor on it now. I said, what the fuck? That's one of my favorite movies. You gotta be fucked up. But I don't care. I still watch all these shits and I still get my same last in, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck you if you feel some type of way, man. Like, some shit, like, I ain't gonna hold you. You feel some type of way about Norbit?
No, I watched it not so long ago.
And on some real spill, I'm black. I ain't heard not one black person say anything how Norbit is offensive.
I seen somebody else. Oh, never mind. I seen somebody else watching it like last week.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But in the black community, I ain't heard not one person. Now I am me.
Now I'm not in everybody's household, so I don't know if some people are getting, feeling some type of way or getting offended by certain things or movies or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just enjoy things for what it is, and I try not to
over dissect shit.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just wired different, and I did grow up in a different, generation or whatever the case may be. So I grew up on all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I just probably look at things a little differently, but I don't know, child. I'm gonna enjoy what I like, and that's just.
And you ain't gonna tell me what I can't like.
That's normal. And it may seem like these jokes or premises were okay in the past and people didn't care as much, but that's not necessarily the case either. They just did not have the platform to express their opinions. Social media has given literally anyone and everyone a platform to express immediate feedback and criticism, and this is a blessing and a curse. I and many other YouTubers literally benefit from this modern social media climate. We have no superiors that are controlling our opinions, deciding who we can and can't criticize, but then again, I am also providing depth, research, and nuance to the videos that I'm putting out. I'm also not trying to say any actor or movie should be canceled, deplatformed, or lose sponsorship or business opportunities. Also, if you look at the positives, the exact opposite can happen. A movie or comedian that is overlooked by the mainstream or considered problematic could actually be really funny, and there will be online praise for it. A telltale sign is when the tomato meter from expert critics critics is super low, but the popcorn meter, which is fan reviews, is high. However, as we know, most of the problems don't come from people giving genuine, nuanced criticism, but rather those who get their fix by causing outrage. Someone can straight up sit in a theater on the night of release and live tweet how funny a movie is. You'll see zero effort Twitter rage baiters go viral with vague tweets like, "I can't believe y'all think this is funny," or "This is problematic," which seems easy to ignore, but it will genuinely make someone think, "Damn, I guess I shouldn't go see this movie," or "Am I a bad person for thinking this is funny?" And because social media rewards outrage, this can snowball into proof that the comedian, actor, or producer is a terrible person who is somehow unworthy of ever working again. People will read critical tweets with hundreds of thousands of likes, and they might disagree with what the people are saying, but because it has so much engagement and so many likes, it makes people change their opinions, change their minds. Maybe this isn't funny. Maybe I shouldn't think this is funny. And before you know it, there is an all-out online war over what was meant to be a joke.
You got this whole other wave where, like, now you have these people who put themselves in the oddest position of being the curators of what was kind or unkind. This was okay, but this wasn't, or I cringe when I look back at this. It's like crazy. I think those are sometimes the cringiest.
The purveyor of
What is funny or what isn't. Like, comedy's a big tent.
It's ever evolving. It's not to be dictated.
Right. There's no one way to the waterfall. It's a crazy idea that this set up and say, here's how you do comedy. It's like, you know, you got slipping on a banana peel to, you know, totally odd conversations to, you know, there's a wide range of what people find to be funny. And it's like almost like people that would like sit and overanalyze a situation to the point of making themselves feel really good about themselves.
And while you might think all of this is just easy to ignore, it's social media, it's not real. Just make the movie, right? Well, it's evident that major studios are a little hesitant to release a comedy with edgy or politically incorrect humor. However, actor Seth Rogen disagreed with this notion during an interview with Esquire magazine. The complaint that comedy is harder than it used to be is not a valid complaint. Maybe it was too easy before, and why should it be? Why shouldn't it be hard? I like that my job is hard because I'm trying to do something that requires a huge amount of resources and people's time and energy. What do you wish you could say? What do you feel has been taken from you? It's always funny when people are like, "Oh, they could never make the Diversity Day episode of The Office today." You can still watch it. I'm constantly meeting teenagers who love Superbad and who think it holds up, and none of them are like, "How dare you have said that?" And Seth does make some great points here. Studios can still make whatever they want. There's nothing stopping them. And it's not objectively harder to be funny today. It just seems like they are not being honest about what they actually think is funny, which is why these comedy movies come out with boring or sanitized humor. The reason why Superbad holds up is because it was honest about the way many teenage boys think and speak. They are rude, crass, always thinking about sex, insulting each other constantly, distracted in school, thinking about the weekends, and living life like they are invincible.
You just get out of here and we'll talk about this later.
Evan, we're down 2 points.
Calm down, Greg. It's soccer. It's soccer.
You, man.
Hey, Greg, why don't you go pick your pants again?
That was like 8 years ago.
People don't forget.
They call each other gay, sometimes even using the F slur, even though that would widely be considered homophobic and a cancelable offense these days.
It's really
I never peeped the shirt he had on. God damn. You talking about subliminals? That's a subliminal to comment, paying homage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Considered homophobic and a cancelable offense these days.
It's really messed up. Super gay.
The way they behave and talk is shocking and inappropriate, but that's what makes it funny because it is somewhat of a snapshot of reality, with the exception that like just the average teenage boy is not that funny. Now you might think this is problematic behavior, and maybe it is. So maybe the film is just not for you. But some take it one step further. They say a film like this is platforming and promoting this disgusting behavior. We are idolizing these morally bankrupt teenage boys, which will justify their bad behavior and maybe even inspire them to act in such a way. And hey, that could also be true too. But regardless of how you feel, the movie is good because it is honest. They went for it and they doubled down on it, even though it was politically incorrect. A modern version of Superbad wouldn't ever be made because they would be too afraid to offend anyone while providing a somewhat realistic depiction of a teenage boy who is gross and reckless with his words. And even if they did, they would probably add some tertiary character who steps in and tries to correct their behavior behavior or be the voice of reason. Then again, sometimes being realistic is not funny. Like, look at the 2020 film, American Pie presents Girls' Rules. American Pie is supposed to be a raunchy, disgusting depiction of the primitive young adult or teenage mind.
I ain't gonna hold you. My mom would not let us watch American Pie because it's so raunchy.
Oh.
Did y'all? Not let me say that she ain't allowed, but that don't mean we ain't watch it. You know what I'm saying? No. She didn't want us watching American Pie because it's supposed to be so raunchy. And I was like, man, I'm trying to watch American Pie. Everybody keep talking about American Pie. When I finally watched, I said, oh, it had certain scenes in there, but it's like it's realistic though too, in a sense. It's like a stretch on the imagination, but similar to what a lot of people think about.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Like stuff like this, like my mama said, she was just thinking, I was just like a teenage, movie, nothing crazy. But other stuff that she knew what it was, like she knew like a scene was about to come up.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes, or whatever. Or say for instance, it was a lot, and the TV came on, and she'll either turn the TV, or y'all need to go outside, y'all need to, stuff like that. But stuff like this, she just like, oh, it's just she not knowing what it really is.
Yeah. But nah, American Pie had some scenes in there though, but it is what it is.
A raunchy, disgusting depiction of the primitive young adult or teenage mind. Sex, drugs, partying. It's unapologetic and incredibly stupid. This modern version was supposed to be the same thing, but from the female perspective. Looking to spice up their love lives before graduation, 4 female high school seniors band together to harness their girl power and get what they want from the boys. Let's just compare really quick. The first clip is from the original American Pie. This is how they wrote a female innuendo.
Oh, and this one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my...
Excuse me?
What? You don't think I know how to get myself off?
I remember. I've been watching American Pie years, bro.
It's been a while.
I think since like high school.
I need to make a list of all the movies I grew up on and I loved, and it was just dear to me. And just go back each day.
But it's so many though.
But I think that'll be nice to just go back and watch one at a time.
Yeah. It's so many, bro. Like,
it's a lot.
Hell, that's what half of band camp is. So, are we gonna screw soon? Because I'm getting kind of antsy.
Now compare that to the new American Pie.
None of us need a man to have a healthy life. I am learning that technology has given us incredible innovations in self-pleasure. And like whatever you're into, external, internal, rabbits, wands, vibrators, remote-controlled plugs, weeds, then wall balls, and wall balls. Oh yeah, I have 2 in right now. It is...
You know what it is? They take too much of, I don't want to offend anyone. So what's the safest? Safe never wins. Being overly safe, you will never win, bro. You have to be, you can't be afraid to cross that boundary. And let the hate be the fucking hate. Because 9 times out of 10, the same people hating actually like it. They just want to jump on the hate train because they like, oh shit, if I ain't over here, I'm people gonna look at me some type of, nobody's like, like chill.
A very specific sensation.
Maybe this new version is funnier, and I'm just not the target demographic. So I'll ask my 20% female audience, what do you think is funnier? A girl saying, we don't need men, we have toys. Or a girl saying, I shoved a flute up it at band camp. The fear of being canceled is so apparent that studios seem to not even try to make a true comedy anymore.
You think the first one was way funnier?
Yeah, because I'm...
Because she over here jiggling balls. I'm like, them joints clapping.
And to the people that feel like, whatever, you don't need this, that, and the third. Kudos, whatever. I feel like that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
It's always a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
That is a whole nother story. Because that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever. But yeah, the first one, because it is one of those things, when you become like, a teenage, you start doing stupid stuff, trying to, you trying figuring stuff out, whatever.
Bro, she said I stuck.
And I haven't seen this new one, so I can't even say. I have to see it through and through. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'll check it out. I'm always like down to check stuff out just so I can see. I'm never gonna just like put something down just because other people says this, that, or whatever.
Cause we'll always watch something, and I'll be like, see. There'll be a minute we finally watching. I'll be like, Man, I ain't heard nothing but negative. And she be like, for real? Like, yeah, folks talking negative. She be like, why? And I'd be like, I don't understand why either. I'm like, it's actually good, bro. But it's the perception that everybody want to fit in with the next motherfucker. Bro, be okay with standing outside the circle, bro. You know, everybody don't have to be.
And being your own person, having your own thoughts. If you enjoy something, enjoy it. If you think something's funny, okay, it's funny. If you didn't get offended by something in that moment, don't let other people like, I should be offended by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not genuine. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just... It's the selective rage for me.
Selective outrage, yes.
But yeah, okay. I may have to check it out and see. I don't know.
Some of the most highly rated comedy films in the 2020s aren't exactly praised for their straight up funny premises and jokes. Take Don't Look Up, for example. Sure, it has funny moments, but it's a satire about a planet-killing comet that's clearly a metaphor for climate change, media distraction, and problematic politics, setting up the planet for failure. Do these comments look like they are for a comedy movie? I always respect a movie that has the balls to actually show the world ending. Every disaster movie starts with the government ignoring a scientist. We really did have everything, didn't we? Damn, that made me cry. You know what other comedies are extremely popular in the 2020s? Free Guy, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Dungeons...
When I say old, I'm not saying like stupid old.
Let me just say this. You may have watched it.
We watched it on Netflix. We were sitting, literally watched it. Yes. Like the ending was a little...
We probably did. I can't remember it.
We really did have everything, didn't we? Damn, that made me cry. You know what other comedies are extremely popular in the 2020s? Free Guy, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Do you notice anything different about these comedy movies? They are superhero movies. And don't get me wrong, they're entertaining, they're fun, but they're not comedies in the traditional sense. We get a lot of these films that are action first with humor as a seasoning, but ultimately, much like every other industry, the true reason why comedy films are not being made like they used to is because of, you guessed it, money. When it comes to movie theater ticket sales and financial performance, comedies have always been risky. While genres like adventure and action can have more of an expected success due to built-in spectacle, global appeal, and merchandising potential, comedies rely almost entirely on the jokes landing. What one person finds hilarious, another might find confusing, offensive, or simply unfunny. Jokes often rely on shared knowledge, references, or social commentary that might not translate across different cultures or age groups. A comedy scene that relies on American pop culture might fall flat for an international audience unfamiliar with these references. And on top of that, there's typically no giant CGI battle or billion-dollar franchise name to fall back on if the audience isn't laughing. Now, back in the day, plenty of comedies were huge financial successes. Meet the Fockers, The Waterboy, Wedding Crashers, 22 Jump Street, all grossing hundreds of millions of dollars in the worldwide box office, whereas others that are still considered good or cult classics underperformed in the box office. Adam Sandler's Billy Madison only grossed $26 million at the box office. Dazed and Confused only earned $8 million. Grandma's Boy, $6 million. And this was at a time when people were still actively going to the theaters. Our last peak in movie theater ticket sales was in 2002 when 1.5 billion tickets were sold. And although these films technically made more money than their budget, film budgets typically refer to production costs only. Marketing and distribution costs, also known as P&A, print and advertising, are handled separately, and these marketing costs can be in the tens of millions. However, where these films made their real money was in DVD sales, also another thing of the past. DVDs, rentals, and cable syndication were the lifeline for comedies that didn't crush it in the theaters. A movie like Billy Madison might have been considered a moderate performer at the box office, but once it hit blockbuster shelves and played on Comedy Central every other weekend, it became a cultural staple. Those secondary markets gave studios the confidence to take a chance on mid-budget comedies because even if they didn't make their money back in the theaters, there was a high probability the film would eventually find its audience later. That safety net is now gone. Ticket sales are down. Physical media sales have plummeted. Rentals are practically extinct. And while streaming might seem like a replacement, it doesn't generate anywhere near the same revenue for studios. Once a comedy film drops on Netflix or Hulu, the studio studio gets its licensing fee, and that's it. There's no long tail of DVD sales trickling in for years, no late night TV reruns keeping the movie in circulation. There is no second life. Judd Apatow confirmed this when he said, after the last writer's strike, it felt like the studios decided not to develop movies. They used to buy a lot of scripts, and they had big teams of people giving notes, and they worked for years with people in collaboration on those scripts. I feel like the studios don't buy as many scripts now. Today, every comedy has to either perform in theaters that are half empty, or immediately crush on streaming, or it's a total loss. So basically, comedy films just can't work in the modern era. Comedians are choosing podcasting and stand-up over film. The toxicity of cancel culture puts comedy films at risk to cause uproar, either immediately or years from now when people just decide the jokes are problematic. And combine that with no multiple streams of revenue to make back the investment, comedy films are a huge risk that most major studios simply aren't willing to take anymore. So you're just gonna have to find something else to laugh at.
Or just go back on what you used to know. And I still do. I watch old TV shows, old movies. I don't care. I'm an old soul. I love the old, man. Because it's still refreshing, bro. Like, just watching stuff you grew up on, just like, man, it was good, bro. You still get that same sensation.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks, though, but streaming world killed the entertainment world. Everybody wanted everything at the click of a dime. It killed it. Like, when it comes down to streaming, because you only mainly think about music, right? CD sales. The quality of the music went down. You know what I'm saying? But the same thing happened in movies. And they only went to streaming to combat the pirate. Because people were going on the internet just download, illegal download. Yeah. And they like, hey, well, since they want an illegal download, how about we just put it out there for them to be able to get it on? But they also, y'all fuck y'allself.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to crush these illegal download sites and be more in tune in where, hey, what are these sites that they're using? Let's constantly keep getting those shut down. And we could have ended that. Y'all just said fold and said, hey, since they're going to go on the internet anyway, let's join in. But hindsight, y'all kind of killed yourself. Music, any form of entertainment nowadays plummet. Even TV shows. People don't even watch the TV show on TV. They rather go to the streaming service and watch it through the streaming service. So now, it's like television is something of the past. When do television become something of the past? And when I say television, I'm talking about cable.
Yeah, cable. Yeah.
But hey, y'all spam us up, man. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We out.
No time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away.